Keep watching to meet one of America's top trial lawyers, Matthew Wright.
Welcome to the YouTube channel of Michael J. Swanson. Michael is the author of How David Beats Goliath and is the CEO of Advocate Capital. And now, here's Michael.
Matthew Wright began his legal career representing mega insurance companies. He says that he quickly realized many of the insurance companies cared little about people, even if those people had suffered catastrophic, life-altering losses. So, Matt decided to represent ordinary people instead of large companies as a truck accident lawyer. Attorney Wright earned his Bachelor of Arts and Juris Doctorate from Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. He is board certified as a specialist in truck accident law by the National Board of Trial Advocacy. Matthew is a member of the American Association for Justice, where he serves on the Trucking Litigation Group Broker Committee and is a President's Club member. Matthew is also rated 10 out of 10 superb for truck accident attorneys on avo.com. And now, meet Matthew Wright. Matt, thanks for being here.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's so nice to have one of our clients who are actually in Nashville can be right here in the studio with us, so very convenient.
It's right down the road.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Matt, you're well known throughout the nation. I know you speak frequently at trial lawyer meetings, and your specialty is trucking litigation. I noticed that you are, I think, lead, or at least on the litigation group that's the trucking broker group?
Yeah, there's the American Association for Justice, which is one of the largest plaintiff organizations in the country. They have a litigation group called the Trucking Litigation Group, and because the law is changing so frequently, we formed a broker committee, and that's to stay on top of the laws and all of the different industry standards that are changing and kind of bring our members together so that we stay on top of all the changes in the law, and that's one of the things that I do with AAJ. Now,
for people like me who are not familiar with the trucking industry, what's the difference between the trucking group and the trucking broker group? What's a broker?
Yeah, so for example, the easiest way to understand it is that if you want to operate a trucking company in interstate commerce, you have to go apply and get a permit to operate as a trucking company, otherwise known as a motor carrier.
Okay.
Same thing for a broker. Now, a broker can't operate trucks, but what they do is they arrange for transportation with other motor carriers and trucking companies. So you have to go get a permit from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration to operate as a broker. It's a different kind of authority, but they can't operate trucks physically. So.
Okay, and how does that play into the law when it comes to liability for trucking accidents and things like this?
So one of the challenges we face with our clients is that trucking companies don't carry enough insurance. They only have to carry $1 million in coverage, and so that was done in the late 70s, early 80s. That number was formulated. 750 was actually the minimum. Most of them carry a million, the smaller companies do. But that hasn't been adjusted for inflation, and things like healthcare costs, as you can probably imagine, have escalated far in excess of the historical rate of inflation. And so if you look at what $750,000 at the time that was made the mandatory minimum, in today's dollars it would be closer to $5 million. And so it
should be $5 million.
It should be $5 million now, but we haven't succeeded in enacting that. And so unfortunately, one of the things that we have to look at is when we look at the whole transportation supply chain, who are the other players involved? And it's not isolated to one truck wreck. It's not simply a matter that the driver wasn't paying attention and slammed into stop traffic. You have to look at the decisions that were made coming up to that. And that's where you look at people like the shippers, the brokers, and the other motor carriers that were involved in the decisions that were made to put that driver on the road. And that also is of necessity because a lot of times there's just simply not enough insurance, and so you have to look at the policies that are carried by these other players in the cycle. And so that's where you look at the broker. Brokers carry a separate insurance policy. Also, the shipper carries one, and the other motor carrier, if they hired the smaller company, for example. So you may have multiple layers of coverage, and we do that out of necessity because our clients have suffered catastrophic, life-altering injuries, and $1 million, and a lot of times with multiple injuries, is not going to be enough to cover those for those, for the significant injuries.
Wow. Well, Matt, if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, had a few questions maybe about a case they had or a case they had signed up recently, how would they do that?
You can go to our website, which is truckinjurylaw.us, and wrightlawplc.com. Our office number is 615-455-3588. And my personal cell phone is 615-812-1351. Call any of those.
Wow, that's really great of you to allow. That's the kind of personal touch I know you give your clients with the cell phone number. So
I do. I give it to them all. They can text me anytime they want, call me, and I try to stay in touch and communicate with them.
Well, thanks for being here and helping us learn about brokers. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for watching. Send your questions or comments to Michael at mike@howdavidbeatsgoliath.com.